Hey guys, I just sat down on my couch with my computer to type out some words on an empty Word document, and I thought I'd share my thoughts on the written word and how powerful I think it can be sometimes for us to just let our feelings be translated into words onto a white paper. It can be the written word, but it can also be typed onto the computer. And personally, I think it is a very relaxing thing to do whenever I feel like my feelings are all over the place or I need to bring a little bit of structure in my mental, physical, and emotional bodies, right? Writing down the words that are giving some kind of body to feelings that are sometimes not really tangible can allow them to be processed more easily. So maybe for you, whenever you feel overwhelmed or you feel stuck or you feel confused, it might be interesting for you to try out just pulling out an empty piece of paper or an empty Word document and letting your thoughts flow onto the screen or flow onto the paper and just type it out or write it out and let it just flow, let it move. And don't censor yourself, don't judge, just pour the words onto the page. And this can actually be a very healing practice, especially if you remove the judgment. So I like to type out everything in a Word document because I can just let it flow. And then afterwards, I can reread it and I can process my thoughts by rereading the text that I just wrote. And I can actually make it pretty. So I very much like to do that, to just type out all my thoughts, write a whole text, and then reread it and edit it in such a way that it becomes this almost like poetic text. And I very much enjoy puzzling with the words, finding the right words, finding a right cadence and rhythm in the text. And it becomes this kind of like piece of art for me. And I just felt like I wanted to share this joy, this excitement with you guys because it's so lovely to hear someone talk about things that they enjoy doing. And I very much enjoy doing this sometimes. And maybe it can be a permission for you to try the same thing. Maybe you can give it a try whenever you feel like you can't really make sense of your thoughts or your feelings in this moment. You can try to just pour them out on a piece of paper. And I really think that the initial non judgmental attitude is crucial here. So it feels just nice to let the things flow, let them come as they come. Don't edit, don't censor, because nobody's going to read it anyway, right? You do it for yourself. Maybe at some point, someday, some people might read it. That's totally fine, but you shouldn't write it with that intention in mind as you start out. I don't start with the intention that people will read it. If I just let it flow, then the thoughts, actually the feelings, they manifest into words on the page, which I think is an incredible process. I cannot express enough admiration for this wonder of reality. It's incredible, right? The thoughts, they come into our minds and we can actually make them, turn them into physical things. We can write them down and they become actual reality. Of course, the zeros and ones, the bits in the computer, they're not real in that sense, but actually they are still, because they are encoded on the hard drive. Anyways, this is more like technical jargon that's not really to the point here, but the process of really putting thoughts into a physical form that can then be saved somewhere, that can be stored somewhere for maybe later use or not, who cares, is just such a remarkable thing. And so when I just let all my thoughts flow onto the page, and then when I reread it, then it starts to occur to me that, okay, maybe one day I might even want to read this back. And so I love to create this piece of art and then just save it. And I was actually thinking about reading a few of my older texts, and maybe I would want to read them to you guys just as kind of like a podcast or something. I will see if it's not too personal, but maybe there is some interesting insights for you to enjoy. And the texts are, I think, pleasant to read because they have this certain rhythm to them. And I very much enjoy doing that. So I thought I'd quickly share that with you and express how it might also be a very useful tool for you to use whenever you need more clarity in your thoughts and feelings. And it's actually a form of journaling, right? But personally, I prefer to journal in the morning with more deliberate prompts, like what do I want to achieve for myself today? Who do I want to be today? And this just thought dump on the page is more something that I do very occasionally when I really feel intuitively that it is something that I would enjoy in that very moment. It's not something that I necessarily think of as a strategy that always works. It's more like occasionally, let me just pull out my computer, and then I very much enjoy it. So, is there something else that I wanted to mention about this? Oh, yes, the other part. So, I am currently reading Jordan B. Peterson's most recent book, Beyond Order, and he also has an program online. It's called the self-authoring program, and you write about your past, your present, or your future. You can choose which program you use. But so the written word has a lot of power to it, right? It really forces you to structure the contents of your mind. It forces you to think about the things that you feel, that you want to say, that you think about. And I think that has great power and potential. So the written word is a beautiful thing, and it can bring great joy. It can also cause tremendous harm because a few words can actually make or break someone sometimes, and can make the difference between life or death in certain cases. So the spoken and written word are extremely powerful, and they should be treated with respect, I believe. So that's kind of what I wanted to share, a short flow of consciousness. Sometimes I like to do this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something today. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.